Hello, everyone. My name is Trent, but most of you know me as IT Guy, and welcome back to the Blockchain Gaming Podcast. In this episode, I have CoinDemon on the show to talk about the interesting changes in Coin Hunt World this week. We'll get into the new updates, Jack's run on the leaderboards, and some other general Coin Hunt World topics. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. CoinDemon, how you doing today, man?
Hey, IT Guy. I'm feeling good,
Yeah.
feeling happy to be here. I'm excited.
That's good. We got two podcasters, and I just got to say your quality sounds great. So whatever you did, keep it up.
It's exciting. I'm happy. I'm happy I've got a new mic, basically.
That's good. So we got the crisp new audio. So I guess for people who don't know who you are, that'd be pretty rare because you're pretty involved with the community. But I guess you can just run down some of your accolades or some of the things that you're most proud of accomplishing in Coin Hunt World, either in the game or outside of the game. And while you do that, I'm just gonna pop up on a screen share here your your leaderboard or your wiki.
Okay, so I'm one half of the UK Coin Hunt World podcast. I was the first player to topple Blockboy on the UK leaderboards after his visit, which actually took some doing. I was the first player to be in the top 100 and fourth person to complete the Chinese New Year and get the NFT.
Oh my gosh, you've been going hard ever since you started.
Yes. So I got very good guidance the first week I was playing and got some very good guidance and basically had Warm saying to me, right, you've got to print all your colors, you've got to do this, you've got to fill your doses. And that led me to being in the top 10 in the first month. And the players that were already playing were like, where the hell did you two guys come from? You literally just disturbed, because I think they'd already had 2 leaderboards from then. And with that, I took with it and learned, and yeah.
So when you first started playing, it was Worm who was actually giving you advice on what to do next, and it wasn't any of the the North American players like giving their perspective on it.
No.
Okay.
So Warm had a couple of weeks prior to me experience. He must have been on the wiki. I signed up, didn't have any of those resources, wasn't on the Discord, and basically just I never used Discord before, apart from in Pokemon Go, and I never found it easy to navigate around. And he'd signed me up, and I think it was only the community server, and I just wasn't using it as a resource. Whereas now it's every hour of the day, seeing what's happening. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. And so I'm looking at your leaderboard rankings here. And so here's what I'm shocked at seeing. I see like a lot of like you obviously placed in the UK well, but that didn't actually translate to a global placement. So
yes.
What happened in December here? Because you placed first on the leaderboard. Was that even top 50 global?
No, that was about. I was top 50 until the last couple of days,
right?
And that was like 60 or 70. You have to bear in mind that we don't, at that time, everything is growing. We don't have the vault capacity. And if you think December, we had the Christmas event and everyone was going so hard that, and we didn't have epic trees. We didn't have yellow vaults. We didn't know where all our green vaults were. We were new to the game. If you think that was only my 6th week.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I placed about 70th.
But first on the UK.
First on the UK.
That's all that matters.
but let me tell you an interesting thing about the UK community. And this probably isn't notified on the whole of the Discord. We are all very good at communicating and taking it in turns to have first. This is so December I did, and then Warm said to me, look, I really want to do January. And I supported him the whole way through doing it. Falcor was like battling him, and we felt incredibly sorry for him. He was like head to head, and basically Then last month, I probably was ready to do what I've done this month, last month, but I knew what Falcor was doing, and I would have felt bad, you know, like we all just take it in turns. So then I and Ian took, I think it was March, he took first. Oh no, he took February. So we all take it in turns. We're all chatting, saying and it's very diplomatic. So
that's awesome. That's interesting. So I mean, it's kind of easy to see the communication between the UK players, because that you have like your own little channel in the Discord, and it's like way more popping than the actual regular Discord. It's like constantly moving. You can't keep up with that one. Like you guys are at it at all times of the day. So it's like it's its own Discord server.
Yeah, the UK channel is absolutely popping all different times of the day. Snorri, who actually works nights, he's jumping in, do you know what I mean? And I stay up late sometimes. Some days I stay up 3, 4. I just chat away, and if I've got nothing to do the next day, I don't mind. It's lively. I love the chat. We have the UK channel is different from. I don't go too much into the others, but it is lively chat, and props to Fire's mostly our moderator, I think.
Yeah. I think you have that other. There's actually a UK moderator.
Oh yeah, Osuku. So ROIC, Rage Out in Clash.
Yes.
And I think they're very understanding that our humor is sometimes a bit debaucherous, and they let things slide. And then sometimes they're like, calm it down. Yeah. Calm it down. And because we just we're all adults, and it just gets flowing. Do you know what I mean? It's but it is funny. Sometimes I'm literally rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess we can skip the part about where you're from, and
because I could tell you I'm from Oxford, but when I actually started playing, I was in the villages 10-15 miles away.
Okay.
Just to give people an idea what they're like, they were the villages that the Shire and Hobbiton and Briog in Lord of the Rings are based on.
Okay, so, that sounds peaceful.
So the village 2 from mine is a village called Brill, and it's like it literally has the mounds that it was a clay mine, and it's like it's got a really high it's quite high altitude, but it gradually gets to it, and it's so that's where I was playing originally, and that's where I'm from. But now back in Oxford City, and I'm glad for it.
Is there more vaults where you are now?
Oh, my area is lively. If anyone wants to look, I live on Holloway, HOLLOW way, Oxford, and it's like the east side of Oxford, and it's not all mapped because it's changing. It's and I'm probably quite late. My phone is awful, so you can't have 2 apps really running at once. So I'm not very good at being like, oh, the vault's there, that needs updating. But you can see my area, and there's 2 young lads that play that like 16, and we guide them a little bit. So we've built the area quite well, but it is growing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when did you get into Coin Hunt World? So I know if we look at your wiki, we can see that the first time you placed was in November, and that's probably around the same time you started. But how did you actually get into it? Like, because I know I just want to know like how you got into it, how you found the game, and when you actually started playing.
So started playing about the 14th of November. It was midway through the first Veriblock event.
Yeah.
And Warm was doing the rounds, going around all our houses, taking our phones, being like, do this. And then I just started exploring. So that was mid-November, mid-Veriblock event. And I even though I joined I think I hit the most Veriblock vaults from in both events, both Veriblock events and both Suku events.
Wow.
I with the Suku one, I think I took 5% of the total Suku that had been given out, something stupid like that. And so that was mid-November. Found out the game through Warm, who everyone in Oxford, bar 2 players. I think his referrals, apart from my girlfriend and a few others, my brother, but they're mostly his his thing.
So he's doing well with the referrals then.
I think he's in the top few. You'll have to speak to him about that. That's his stick.
That's pretty awesome. So it was pretty recent. That's what I'm gathering, right? It's pretty recent, especially for the fact that, you know, you're now above me on the all-time leaderboards.
No.
Yeah, man.
No
so
way.
yeah, I was listening to your last podcast, the third episode of your UK podcast, and you said, you know, your leaderboard rank was something around 80th, I think, all-time global. No,
92 now.
It was 100. It was 100 on the podcast, and then I checked after that, and it was 92. Yeah, and it's better than me already. So
wow.
Yeah, and I mean, when there's been months in between when I started where I've taken my foot off the gas for sure. But when I first started, I played pretty damn hard, and recently I've been getting back into the groove of things. So I'm coming for you.
Yeah, it's getting fun with this walking mechanism, right?
Isn't it? Yeah. So before we get there, though, I want to know. Here's another kind of like broad question for you. I just want to see how you can answer this. What do you get? Where do you get the most enjoyment out of Coin Hunt World? Like, what is it? What is it that makes you the happiest when you play?
Ooh, so
it could be a list.
The events are the big one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The events are where the most fun is had. I normally hunt on my own, right? Okay. Apart from the events, where we do a little bit of thing, the community is probably one of the biggest and most fun things. Chatting to people from all around the world that have different personalities, and you have to take that in consideration when you're chatting to them. Not everyone's the same. That's a big part of the fun.
Yep.
I enjoy the trivia, and I actually thrive off getting them wrong, but getting questions wrong because you get to learn.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I do enjoy the cubies and the leaderboards are fun because you're like battling.
Yeah.
To us, it's not even really about the crypto. The crypto is going to be nice when it's
it's at the bottom of the list, isn't it?
Well, we don't even get it. So
that's true.
This is the point. We don't get crypto. So not yet. Well, we are. It's building. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to come. I've got good faith in Illusion Weaver and Cuckoo Puffs on delivering. But yeah, so there's a plethora of things that I get the enjoyment from.
For sure.
But without the community, if you take any one of them away, it would change the game.
Yeah, totally. For sure. It'll skew it in different ways. Yeah, it's funny that you say you haven't gotten paid yet, right? So obviously for the UK guys, the exchange, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm sorry, I'm not up to date. It's Bitero.
It's called Byte EU. It's it's a swing arm of Bittrex.
Okay. So, right on. Okay, so that makes sense.
I believe so. Okay. Don't it would make sense. It's
We're talking out of our asses. It's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys haven't gotten paid, but since starting the podcast, I've had the pleasure of talking to, some of the oldest players and some of the top players, and they actually had a similar feeling, when they were playing the game and you actually couldn't withdraw your crypto to Uphold at the beginning of the game. So people were like, should I keep playing? Do I have faith in this? Because you see your crypto going up in the game, but you're not actually getting it. So you never really knew. And those players who, back then they had conviction just like you do. And eventually it came. Yeah.
So yeah, this is interesting. When I refer people, and we have a few solid, really competitive players that are in our city and obviously in the whole of the UK. My friends that I'm trying to refer to, they're like, when can you withdraw? My partner says she'd be a lot more inclined to play if she was getting paid.
Yeah.
So she's earned a little bit, but it's more she's thinking, are you actually going to get paid and when? And that's the same question everyone asks. I was explaining to my client today, like, this is what I've got to leave early. This is why.
Yeah.
And he was like really interested. He's too wealthy to really want to play, but
right.
I'm busy. But the same question always comes: when do you get paid? Are you going to get paid?
Yeah.
And that is we're kind of dwindling on a few players. They're like, I was hunting the other day, and a girl stopped on her bike and said, "Oh, yeah, I know what you're doing." I said, "I said, are you not going to set any more vaults up?" And she said, "I have kind of stopped playing. And I was
yeah.
no, not stopped.
Right.
That's she's just calmed it down, because it comes down to the same thing. When you get paid, sweet. So it's interesting.
That's a critical question there, and it's a well-deserved one, because that was the premise of the game, right? I think that it's when you first start, you're not so much interested about getting, because you want to set up all your stuff, right? You want to get your user vaults down, you want to upgrade your HQ, and then you want to unlock the export, and then you want to start getting paid. So if you've completed all of that, then you're in the interest of, okay, well, where is it? Should be hitting my account every. Another good side tangent there is that it goes out every week. That's so awesome. I love how it's not, it's that little tiny, it's not monthly, it's not bi-weekly, it's every week, and it gives you that little bit of influx of cash. Obviously, you'll have to wait on that, but it'll happen, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen soon.
So I'm looking at mine now, and if it was November prices, it'd be 1,400 quid, which is probably nearing 1,600, 1,800 US dollars.
Yep.
And for playing a game, that is, when I show people, they're like, what?
Yeah.
But like looking at that now, it's $1,000, and it's what's frustrating by not being able to withdraw it is I'm watching it go up and down, like Suku spikes.
Yeah.
It went to $2. What I would have now would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I've got 700 Suku, and it went to $2. So I would just have 1,400 quid just in Suku.
Right.
Which is like
pretty damn good for one event.
Yeah, that's no, we've had Suku
two events
twice.
Right.
Yeah. And I just want to touch on those Suku and Veriblock events.
Sure.
I know this is a bit of a tangent.
No worries.
But they pay $2 per green vault, because you guys haven't had them. $2. Nope. There is some kind of speculation that actually leaderboard points for opening vaults, although it is one, is actually done by the amount of crypto you get. So because you get $2, 1 month January, I was absolutely smashing the Suku, and one was like, how are you beating me? Like he was like, what? This is crazy. How are you beating me? And some kind of speculation that by hitting those greens that are $2, you're actually getting 24 points. That's just something to think about. Don't know.
That's your speculation. Yeah.
Yes. That's but and the Veriblock and Suku events, all we do is 50 questions, find the answers, and then it's perfect.
And then it's over and over.
Perfect. Yeah, so I love those events.
So it does a good job of teaching you about the actual token and the team behind it, right? Because you're obviously figuring all those questions out.
I am a lot more versed on Suku. I think Veriblock is slightly more confusing as a product.
It's complicated.
System. Yeah. So I listened to your podcast too late. And those Maxwell Sanchez, the young guy, he seems so vibrant and
very technical, very smart.
But it's too technical. It's too. I'm not big in the crypto scene, and I'm sure we can talk about that at some point. But the Suku is fun. They're all getting involved with McLaren. Do you know what I mean? They're all about the brands and that stuff. Consumerism, right? So I know a lot more about Suku than I do Veriblock.
Right on. And just to take it back quickly, so I know you said that you kind of started a little bit late. So were you around when the UK floating vault was being opened? No. Oh, so you didn't get the you didn't get the blueprint, did you?
No.
Oh no.
No. So don't have the UK, and they're too expensive to buy.
Oh yeah.
Well, I could buy one. But then in November I would have all the resources to print them, and it would feel like wasted money.
So you don't have any of the resources either, like you didn't.
No.
Okay.
No. So that was gone. So it went into VBK. I played for 2 weeks. Hunter's Lodge free. At Marita.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
And so what?
That whole.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No,
November
go ahead. Yeah.
Through to January was live. To February was like Veriblock. Yes, it went Veriblock, Marita, Christmas, Suku, Chinese New Year, and each of those events were like 2 weeks. So this is why a lot of UK players don't have paint. Stuff like that. This is the first month we've ever been able to actually earn paint.
That's true, because you don't get paint during events.
Yes. So so this is actually this has been good this last month, just stacking those things up.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to have a month off to do what to either, stack keys or get, resin or, take it easy because you've just spent, 6 months grinding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the whole of last month was just resin, just buying resin. I haven't stacked enough keys. I wish I had of.
Yeah.
But game of choices and all that.
I know. Oh, okay. So that brings up a quick little point about also on your last podcast. Actually, you know what? Before I ask this, okay, on your last podcast, you were talking about buying some resources for the tikis. Have you made any extra plays there? Are you still buying green paint?
I think I've got about 60,000 green paint. Something
not bad.
Well, the thing is I feel like it would be unfair of the developers. If you think I'm the top UK player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all I've got left is from printing a pirate or two, I've got like 15,000 blue paint.
Mm-hmm.
From a few cats, I've got like 12,000 yellow paint. I would feel hard done by if they put a resource where you've got your Manels and your Jayas and they've got 200. I would feel absolutely hard done by if it wasn't something that was common.
Yeah.
You've got 27 of them to print. It would feel unfair. But
so do you have are you under the impression that it's going to be green paint? Like, is green paint fair for you? Because I think that's a great point. And I remember you saying that in one of your previous podcasts that, it would be unfair if they made it, something that, because we've had a year extra to gather resources, right? Yeah, so do you see it being like green paint and maybe, I mean, they already told us that it was going to be an event resource as well. So is green paint fair?
I think it's I would like it to be fair for all players, not just me, El Salvadorans, Filipinos, Americans, Canadians, UK players. And it seems like green paint would be something that people would have enough green paint to the amount of keys that they can afford to buy. Right. So if they're going to buy the amount of keys they're going to spend on tikis would probably represent roughly how much green paint they have. Like, what can we spend green paint on apart from cats? I don't even know what uses it. Leprechauns, perhaps. I have no idea what else uses green paint. Like,
I wish.
Suku uses blue and yellow.
Really? Wow.
So it's 1,000 blue and yellow. So when you sell a Suku, it has to go for over 55 or 60. Else you're just losing money.
Oh man, I remember when the Veriblock QB came out, and I bought one of the blueprints for a red key. That thing is a money maker. Well, not necessarily anymore. But it was great because it was only 500 blue paint, and I had a lot of that. So
and we didn't.
Yeah.
So this is the trouble. People sold their VBK blueprints and
gobbled them,
and that gave you United States players, and you just run with it. And I have made, don't get me wrong, I've made money from the VBK, and probably a tactic of mine going forward after this Hawaii event will be stack paint, stack paint, stack paint, stack paint. Wait for our next token event, and print and sell them all before Manel. Before Manel can get his hands on one.
Man, if that's the only strategy you can do, if you know what Manel's gonna like, if Manel gets his hand on one of those blueprints, or honestly, even other like one of those other top players who will fly under the radar, won't say anything, but they're printing like 4 or 5 a day.
That's but at the moment they are selling quite good since this key influx.
Yes,
the auction house is taking off, right?
I've noticed that. I've noticed there's been a slight key increase, but that brings me to another thing that you've also said on your podcast about buying tikis, right? So I think you had a budget, right? What was your budget for buying tiki warriors from the auction house?
2 reds minimum.
Okay.
Depending if Lion Locks overtakes me, things like that. But 2 reds minimum. 3 would be nice.
Okay.
But 2 reds minimum.
Okay.
That's what is that 100?
Yeah.
Yes, and you can spend. I've never had work. Wasn't here for the cats. So my understanding is you can put the red key in, and you don't need that 200 green keys. Correct?
No. Yeah, there's a mechanic where you can use 1 key and get all of the.
So that's a way of down forging keys, right?
Yeah, very well could be. If you're looking to do that, I guess so. But
I'm not looking forward. I'm not looking to do that. But
me
yeah,
neither.
two red keys.
Okay.
And however much you spend on them, you will get a higher return back. If you look, I saw 2 cat blueprints go for 250, 260 keys this week. So
and it hasn't even been half a year.
Yes. So because I was bidding on them, I really want to get. I just keep getting them like scratch cards. So what I do is when I've picked up a bit of paint, I just buy a cat. If it's a missy, if it's not a missy, sell it.
Yeah.
I'm still short of Tiger Lily, I believe. But yeah, I think I'm short of Tiger Lily. Print one, sell. If it's not one I need, auction house, you get 30, 40 keys back.
Yep.
Sometimes, and I've been picking them up for 50, so you don't lose a lot.
No, and if you hit the Misty, then that's basically a jackpot.
Yeah, that Misty is probably my favorite QB.
Really?
Out of all the QBs.
Wow.
I love cats.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And I've always wanted a white cat, and yeah, so the Missy. I think the Missy is my favorite. Is always what.
Pull up your babies here. There you go.
Yeah, so we got Squeak on. No, that's Lily on the left. She's the mama, and I got her first. And before I had her as a kitten, and before she got neutered, she ran outside. A friend of ours let her out and came back pregnant. Squeak's in the middle. He's the son, and he is so friendly. He's like the most loving cat, and he's called Squeak because normally cats. He was born in my hands, right? And
oh wow!
Normally cats are quite silent for the first couple of weeks. From the first day, he was so he's Squeak, and then we got Ruby on the right, and that's the daughter. The mother and the daughter don't get on. Okay. The son and the daughter do. The son and the mother do. But Lily,
he's the glue.
He's the glue. So Lily was my baby, and I used to be able to do this, and she would just jump from the ground.
Wow.
And she'd sit here, and then if I was to sit here now, she's not here. She would just lie here,
curl up on your chest. Yeah.
Oh, she is literally my baby. Like I love them all, but she is my baby. Like I can just, she is. Yeah. So I love cats, basically.
Right on. Yeah.
One of those people.
Yeah. There's lots of you out there. I like cats too, man. So I mean, we've mentioned a lot about
obviously
your podcast that you've got going on. So I just want to take a moment to kind of clarify and let everybody know that you're a content creator. You got some good episodes out there. There's only 3, but it's a great time to start watching them because then you can follow you from the inception. But I just want to know, like, how are things going on that end? Like, how's the podcast? Do you like doing it? Is it fun?
So from the second I started playing, I was like, I want to do something. And I was scouring YouTube thinking, I wasn't really set up. I didn't know how to, it seemed like a lot of work. You get a camera, do this, do some effects. And I didn't think, so then I wanted to stream. And I've tried it a few times.
Right, you did the streaming thing for a bit, yeah.
And then I saw Trash Tube stream and was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got good production quality.
Good. The thing is like I don't have a laptop. I would know how to do that. I don't have a laptop. I don't have an Apple. Like the way it all connects is like it just seems. And so I wanted to stream, and I do the occasional stream, and I really have a problem that Twitch, you put the phone in and it only is the middle of the screen. Like, why can't it just? That's one problem. And why can't you have your camera? What I'd love to do is have this camera projecting, or 2 phones, so you can see my screen, see my face, and because what people want to kind of see is exactly what Trash Tube's done is see his face, see outside the car, and see the screen.
Right.
And until that's so this is what happened is I wanted to stream, wanted to do some content. Then I thought about doing TikTok, and I was like, and yeah, since it's like Zach and Beats were kind of like, come on, do a UK one, do a UK one, and it's been a learning curve. Don't get me wrong, and it took a while to get things together, learn how. I did sound engineering at school, and it's taken a little bit to learn it all back. I haven't. It's been 12 years or something, and so the first episode took 2-3 weeks to come out, and then there was a gap of 2 weeks, and then we recorded last Friday and had it out by Monday. So
Right on.
hopefully we should have one out by next Monday.
Okay, so are you sticking with like the weekly schedule on Monday kind of deal?
No, don't
Okay.
hold us to that.
Okay, no worries.
We literally, and Warm and I have discussed this, and we admire your guys, how quick you can turn them around, do one every week. And
it's not easy. If you start doing it, it's not easy.
And I already have this problem with, my girlfriend said to me, is everything in your life about this game?
Man, I get the same thing. Don't worry.
And so she's like, is everything in this life about your game? She's like, you go down the pub and you talk to people about the game. And last night I'm lying in bed and I'd only got up to challenge 7. And I was just like, she goes, where are you going? And I said, and I didn't go. I didn't go.
Oh, wow.
I didn't go.
Wow.
But yeah, this is it's balancing life with recording, stuff like that. And but we would like to get one out every week.
Right.
But yeah, bravo to you guys for doing it. But 2 weeks would be I think would be fortnightly.
Yeah.
And it all depends on what there is to talk about in game. At the moment, there is so much. The last month it was a bit like, what we like speculate. I like speculating, talking to people.
Yeah.
But Warm and I talking to each other, I think we would struggle to get the episode together with just talking about what possibly could happen.
Right.
We could talk about so talking about what you would like to see happen is good, because everyone likes to think what they would like. But what could I don't know. There's something that we can't seem to. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to mimic yours, and we don't want to mimic Zach. We want it to be different.
Yeah.
And so it's going to evolve, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. And so I've got to see from the start, and I think what we should do is we should all get into a group and start sharing ideas. But that's a different topic. But it's funny that you bring up how your partner is talking about is this basically what's going on now? And so that was kind of, I don't know if you've heard my story about kind of why I started my podcast, but it was largely because of that reason. I couldn't stop myself from talking about Coin Hunt World to my partner. I couldn't stop. And she's like, basically told me to shut up. It's like, stop talking about it. I feel like that's all we talk about. And I'm like, okay, I got to take a step back. You're right. Fuck it. I'll start talking to other people about Coin Hunt World.
Yeah. I think you talk about that in one of yours with Zach and Beats. I think when you were talking to them in your episode of Zach and Beats, the duo, which I enjoyed. Yeah. I think that's where you tell that story, and I definitely think it's helped.
It does.
I think it's helped. And she is supportive. Do not get me wrong. I joke about it, but she is supportive. And what you're saying about us getting in a group, if this game blows up, what if this was our full-time job, right?
Exactly. It'd be great then. Then there'd be no more complaining.
Imagine if we just did one show, me, Warm, you, Zach and Beats, and we just do it like, just chuck all our segments together and just run with it like it's a TV show or something. I don't know.
That would be us living the dream, man.
Yeah, quit our jobs, and we could take in turns to edit stuff. We could have someone do it for us, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's endless possibilities, and so having the podcast, for now, it's definitely just a hobby, and I like entertaining people, and the people of in the community, I feel like they want to hear about it. They want to hear other people's thoughts, because before I started really getting involved in the community, I didn't realize people would, DM back and forth about kind of what they're doing, what's their strategy, and the communication was very narrow. You couldn't really get a whole lot of information at the same time. You'd have to message a specific person. But now there's lots of strategies, and everything's out there on the table, so you can just take it if you want.
Yeah, I actually don't think there's enough content. I think there's even space. I've listened to, I work solitary, so I have, and then I complete your podcast. I listen to a couple of back episodes, and I'm like, I need more. I need more.
Yeah.
And I think there's space for it. And people that like to talk about Coin Hunt can talk about Coin Hunt. And it's, so I think I've probably listened to all of yours twice and all of Zach and Beats, at least all of yours at least twice. And some episodes I've listened to 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
I've just got something really funny to tell you.
Yeah.
So now on Google Play Music, you obviously have some kind of adverts in yours. And do you upload via Anchor?
No.
No. So all your adverts today are in South American Spanish. Yeah, so
they're actually targeted. So I don't do anything with the ads, but
yeah, of cocourse.
Yeah, the agency, I think they take, I don't know what they're doing to target the ads, but because I know I've had a few about local things in my area. I'm like, that's a little strange. And then I had Anakura actually message me and say like, hey, I got an ad right at the beginning of your podcast for like a mill right down the street from my house. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm used to that. So any radio show you listen to that uses an app, they just take your IP address and they that's it. They know where you are unless you use a VPN. But it really threw me off. I could not stop because it's happened like 4 or 5 times today, and I'm like, and it's a Spanish advert for a smartphone. It's like a megapixel, 12 megapixel. It's funny. But,
I'm reaching my El Salvadorans, my community out there.
Yeah, so I could not think why it was. That's yeah, but it's funny.
So final question on the podcast topic here. I want to know if you'll have any guests on your show. So I know that's
that would be telling.
Okay, no worries.
Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Soon.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if we'll always have a guest.
Yeah.
But there's something in the works.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Yeah. That's all I wanted to hear. Because I think Zach and Beats does something similar to that, right? You know, like they'll have somebody on here and there, but mostly it's their dynamic. But then all of a sudden they like hit you with a surprise guest, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. So and that's what we're gonna do. It's already a lot of work for us, and what we wanted to do is like your podcast. When you started, you're on your own, and it's a learning curve. Like myself and Warm are already more fluid talking to each other. We're getting our scripts better. We've got what we got on screen better. We've already done our intros, outros, things like that. And we've got ideas going, and it's already becoming more fluid. And we didn't want to have guests until we got it right ourselves.
Right.
And we are going to get better, and we're already improving. And so guests are going to happen. We don't want to do it every week because it's a lot of work, and we're enjoying putting like sound effects and things like that, just stupid stuff. I know, and that's just the kind of thing we're going down that road.
Well, I like those little silly sound effects. And the only reason I like them is because I don't know how to do them. And if I did, I would have thrown them in there. But you guys got something fun there, and I like you did the air horns last time, and you chucked on the little. Was it a rap? I guess it's a rap.
So we have the eulogy. We had the eulogy.
Oh, the eulogy. Yeah. That one.
So that was co-written by myself, Leppy, and Warm, and we had the woman crying and the bells and stuff like that. And what was happening is I was making it here, calling Warm, sending him clips. And he's like, no, change that. And I'm like, okay, changing it. Sent him another clip. And then the rap song, which anyone should somehow check out, is by Evade, which is another UK player. I went to Cub Scouts with him when I was 6, 7, but he went to school with Warm. Okay. And he's actually respected in the jungle scene in the UK, which is a type of dance music. But he made that track, and I really enjoy it. I think he's done a good job.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting like the monotone rap / just talking, but it totally worked. Like I don't know if that's what you would call jungle music, but
no, that's not jungle. This is a type of hip hop, I guess. And I think what works is it's going to an audience that perhaps doesn't listen to hip hop. And some hip hop is, if you listen to some of Jay-Z's early stuff, it's too hard to understand. Even some of Eminem's stuff.
I'm a hip hop fan, so mostly rap.
So if you compare Originators by Jay-Z to a more later track, There's a lyric, and he says you have to dumb down to get more money. And so the originators is so fast and so flow, you have to have a really adept. And I think the reason, I don't know, I haven't talked to Evade about this, but I imagine the reason he's recorded like that is he's going to an audience that perhaps don't listen to hip hop. So every word and pronunciation,
it's articulated.
And for an audience that particularly, and I think he's done it, you can hear every single word clearly.
Yeah, it's fun. So check out, I mean, that was episode number 3, and that's at the end. You could probably find it somewhere else, but I would just say, listen to your podcast, right?
Yeah,
plug that.
So that's it. Yeah, listen to our podcast, and we will plug it when Evade has uploaded it. I think he's going to make a few little tweaks to it before it's ready for the show. Yeah,
there you
ready
go.
for the general public.
All right, I'm going to jump into what I wanted to talk to you about, which was basically the month of April, and your leaderboard run, right? So right now you're sitting global second, if nothing has changed in the past hour. Hopefully not. Yeah, exactly. So, and you were first for, I'd say, majority of the month. I guess, why don't we start at the beginning? So did you plan to make a leaderboard run in April, and what did you do to kind of like prepare for that?
The whole of March, you'll notice I placed 34th in the UK last month.
Yeah.
And I was in Ireland for 2 weeks of that, or a week and a half of that. Okay. So I wasn't really playing every day. So I started in Chinese New Year. In the middle of Chinese New Year, I noticed resin was completely cheap.
Yeah.
I think I bought 300,000 resin for less than 200 keys. Something stupid like that. Or 300 keys, right?
Okay.
But I spent my blue keys, and it nearly ruined my Chinese New Year for that. So I started then, and then already just started tweaking, and Zach Beats had just done his run, and I was thinking cranes are going to be here soon.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many other UK players have thought about buying resin, so I just started then. And then whenever I got a yellow key, 30,000 resin, 30,000 resin, 30,000 resin, 30,000 resin. And then the whole of March I hardly hit vaults, and I just bought resin, saved blueprints. Resin, and with the idea, and then I coordinated with the Oxford folks, and they left me half the crane, and or I think it's filled 600,000, so they left me the 400,000, and literally it was the day of the Hunter's Lodge, went and dropped it in there, which I think was the first, right? Yes. So that gave me the first spike.
Yeah.
And then I knew where 2 other cranes were in areas where it's not the most densely populated,
right?
Which is Birmingham, and got the train there, dropped just under 2 million resin into them.
2 million resin?
Just under 2 million, something like that.
Because, I'm trying to think at the amount of resin, because I am someone who's not active on the auction. Like I haven't bought resin at all, but I'm thinking about my leaderboard spot compared to your leaderboard spot. And if we were on the same trajectory for like not buying any resin, you must have bought a lot of resin then, because I don't have nearly 2 million resin.
When's this going out?
This is going to go out on Saturday. So this one.
What time? What time is this going to go out?
9 p.m. So it'll be over for you already.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So that buzzer's just gone. Sorry.
No worries. We'll do another one. Another little split here. Yeah, it's okay. Change. So when we cut back, we'll cut back in right now, and you'll be with a different
so, yes. So you were saying I must have bought a lot of resin, right?
Yes, exactly.
So I had already I bought a lot of it in Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
And before then, I'd already had a little stack. There's not too many places to use resin. And when I got to, I think, 600, 700,000, I was like, right, buy resin. Yeah. So I started selling anything I had. I sold my Pirate QBs, which I had 2 of. Yeah. And then I sold some more stuff, and then I started going through all my blueprints, Ethereum, that, which I sell the Bitcoin one. So everything that I said I'd never sell, I just chose what I thought I could easily get back, and
Okay.
And every time the keys come in, resin.
More resin.
Resin. I had purchased a second OG blueprint to keep as a blueprint.
So you could print?
Sold it.
Okay.
So, no, I printed one. So I
Okay.
kept one in the possibility it could be an NFT, and sold that. So I was brutal. I don't like doing this stuff, right?
Yeah, I hear you. It hurts to do that.
It's a game of choices, right? And I thought if there was a possibility of me being number one, it's the only option, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have the votes to hit, and so I think in total I had 2.6. I was close to 3 million.
Okay.
Yeah. 2.6, and I've almost given up. I don't know what I can do to beat Rudy.
Because so right now Rudy is above you in the leaderboards.
Rudy's above me, and I 2 days ago or a day ago I thought I'd just give up.
No, don't.
No, and the thing is, Trent, I'm not hitting that many volts because I would rather have a better Hawaii event. I haven't saved the blue keys like everyone else. Yeah, okay. I wasn't collecting keys, so I've got 600 keys. I would rather enjoy the Hawaii event than come first.
Okay.
So that's more fun to me. Yeah. So what is winning? What, 6 red keys? Like if I came second, 5 red keys. That's sweet.
Pretty
right?
good still. Yeah.
And I'd rather have fun. Than I'm not a glory hunter. Like, it's cool to be like, I was the first to do it. But this is a game and it's fun, and I'm not the most competitive person. I'm going to try one last little thing on Saturday, and there's another crane and whatever I've got left, which is probably is the difference between 2.5 and 2.9 million. So that shows what Rudy's done. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we were actually talking, I believe it was maybe at the beginning of this week, and I asked you at that point, I was like, do you think you got it? You said, yeah, I think I got it. You said, I got a little spare reserve. Do you think maybe, I'm thinking about holding on to it. You remember what I said? I was like, you cannot do that. You have to go right now and go dump resin.
What's funny is when I overtook those two, Rudy contacted me and was just like, I'll see you at the finish line.
Oh, no.
He was like, I'll see you at the finish line. What kind of lead do we have on Lion Locks? Because he's the person that everyone's scared of, right?
Oh, that guy is
an animal.
And you don't know anything about him either, right? He could just come out of nowhere and just
I was going to make a joke. I've got 22 cousins, right?
Yeah. You're going to need more than that.
Yeah. I've got a big family, right? No, so we're scared of him. So he wanted to know the lead, but I was so excited about filling the cranes that I didn't even check when I overtook those two, and then I had a million lead. So since then, Rudy has definitely done a million resin, and that's the opinion. So then so I messaged him just saying, just out of curiosity, what kind of lead do you have on me? Yeah. It's just a joke because he asked me what lead, and he was just like, well, have you got another million? But I think that's a double bluff. I don't know what he's done. Do you know what I mean?
Rudy is I don't know much about Rudy, but and I'd love to know more about him, but I do know that he is a hardcore player, and also he's got a very large family.
Yeah, so his mum and his dad and that all play. So
and they play hard.
So we will see what happens. I know he's hitting the vaults, and he's telling me that if he wins, cool, I've come second, sweet. I'll do it again another day. It would just be nice for the first UK player.
I agree.
Number one.
I agree.
And I would love to thank the whole of the community for the support. I've had so many people message me, tag me saying, podcast is great, but we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
And Illusion Weaver even said, look, I'm rooting for you. Do you know what I mean? And it's humbling, and that just shows that's it's been good. And just quickly back to that resin thing that you said is I'd love to just thank I had ultimate support from people like Jaya that was just like, I'll tell you the end time. Fire, like Rodney is like, look, I just want you to have this. Just
Right.
tell me. Just tell me, like. And they're just people that I'd like to thank. There's been so many. There's probably too many people to thank. But it's like, and it's been fun. And I wasn't nervous until the last week. But I'm not hitting the vaults. I'm not. I would rather, as I said, rather spend those blue keys next week.
Well, it's funny that you say you're not hitting the vaults, because what I found is maybe more important is getting the steps in. If you complete those 8 challenges, right, you actually probably haven't been able to really recognize. Actually, no, you said you did, because you move so high up on the global leaderboard.
Yeah.
But those walking quests are crazy for leaderboard points. So that's why when you said last night or whatever it was, when you were talking with your partner and you didn't go out and finish number 8, I'm very shocked, because that could be the difference between first and second, you know?
So the difference is they nerfed it. So every day I've completed it. Easy peasy, right? 6 miles. And now it's that little bit harder. It's an hour's more time, I believe, right?
An hour longer? More. Okay.
Yeah. So before I was doing it, the quickest time, 1 hour and 40, fast pace.
Okay.
And the longest about 2 hours, depends on what shops I call into. If I go into Burger King, do you know what I mean? If I
or a pub.
Yeah.
Then it's a little longer.
Yeah, no. Don't I don't go to the pub while I'm hunting. It would be too much. I'm the kind of person I don't drink too much in the week, and then Friday, Saturday night.
Those are times.
Yeah, but I might not drink for 2-3 weeks. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a daily beer drinker. But when I drink hard. But yeah, so now, one night, not last night, the night before, 2 hours 45, 2 hours 50 minutes. So I had the original route where I walked 5.9 miles and 20, and I'd come back with 10%, finish it at the door, walk in. I had it down to a T. So the first day, finished it 3 miles away from home, planned a route, boom. And I actually have a slight qualm with the new, so it's an hour longer. So before I was returning 20 to 30 blue keys, right?
Yeah.
And now, because it's an hour longer, if I made my loop longer, I would come back no keys earned.
Right.
And this is a slight, I don't like to criticize the game, but if that's the case, it's either have a nice walk, it's a nice area to walk around here. Don't hit any vaults, you're not having fun. It's the same as the key drives. I don't want to be doing that. And I want to be hitting the vaults, and perhaps tell me if I'm wrong, and some people won't like this. I think I'd like them to reduce the amount of crypto rather than the amount of keys in game. And this is just by a little bit. Do you know what I mean? That's and I don't know the longevity of the game. I do not want the game to fail. Right. So I love this game, and I don't want Bill to run out of money and one day just make a business decision and sit down with Illusion Weaver and say, this hasn't grown quick enough. I'd rather there be more blue keys than there is crypto. But
right on.
Just me.
So let me get the hot take then. What do you want the crypto to get reduced down to? Say we're talking about hunter mode. So right now you get 10 cents for a perfect. What would you want to see that reduced to if it meant the longevity of the game and more keys when it came to the walking?
Well, the minimum that they see is financially viable. 9 cents. Like do you know what I mean? Like they've got to do the maths, right? So and I've had a few different ideas of like, how can they make the game longer, more enjoyable, and not spend too much money until they get revenue streams from other places.
Right.
And what I considered was perhaps not necessarily reducing the crypto at all times. When do people hunt the hardest? During events.
Yep.
Now give every hunter the choice to earn no crypto when you're in the event.
Like double resources.
Double resources. So some people, your casual hunters, will keep their things. The people that are going hard are going to turn that button off until they've printed and then turn it back on. Now, how much money would that save them? I don't necessarily know it's the right decision, but in business, Bill and Illusion Weaver have to do the right thing for the longevity of the game. And if a decision like that meant that they could continue to give us free money, That's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. So would you hit that button? Would you take double the resources and zero crypto?
Yeah, of course I would. Yeah. How about you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
No.
No, I wouldn't do
Wow.
that. So I think you're right. I think that would be a great option, and that would I might try it. But I really enjoy the DCA I get off of. So I have a certain number of ETH I like to buy weekly, and it's a decent number. Like I'm trying to make generational wealth over here. So
Yeah, okay.
I like having a little bit of leeway when it comes to, like, if I hunt really hard and I can, make $60 to $100 a week off of crypto, that lowers my amount that I need to put in with my fiat. So like you said, during events, that's when I make the most money because I'm hunting the hardest. So I personally wouldn't do it. I might turn it off, for a day or two, just so I could, have the experience and share it on the podcast. But again, I like crypto and I like money.
That is completely correct. And I was just saying, it's just an option. I would do it.
Yeah.
But to hit the event harder, to potentially get in those top 5 NFTs and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's the best option.
I actually think that majority of players, at least in our circle, would hit that button and they would take zero crypto for double the resource. I think double the resources might be too much, to be honest. I think it'd have to be like 1.5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 1.5. I just don't think. I think I'd be the kind of person that would turn it on and off and on and off and on and off as like the money. And perhaps I would have a different outlook if I was getting the money into my bank. So at the moment, it's just an image on my phone.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean what it means to me. I can get it into my bank account if I want. I don't.
So and I'm not really big into. I set my own business up last year and spent every penny I had setting it up. Right. And money's tight for me. So even though this extra income, I don't have a crypto stack because any crypto I had last year,
it would have been liquidated. Right.
I've liquidated it.
You used it
slowly and surely, and when it's been right. And if I had when I had a stable job beforehand, before I set my business up, I could do those things. But money is more valuable to me now as money. I can invest in a tool that can make me more money and the longevity. And it's the same way as when you buy ETH. You are using it as your long thing. I'm buying it to invest in something so I can offer my customers a different. So you took a year's time from now, I would be buying ETH, Bitcoin, things like that, and putting it away. But,
And that just goes to like we were talking about this at the beginning of the show, right? Where you just got a brand new mic, and so you're even doing like the invest. And actually, I mean, I'm doing that as well. So you took a little bit of your Coin Hunt World earnings and you bought a new mic for it because you're investing in your podcast, which I think is great, and I'm happy you did it, especially for this show. But that's also a great idea. It's those like little expenses that you don't really foresee coming, and then all of a sudden they're there, and you're like, oh, I'll just toss some Coin Hunt World earnings at it. But I'm excited for when you can actually withdraw it and really know.
So put it this way, for the last year or so, I haven't spent really too much money on myself, apart from takeaways, things, or any. I'm already looking at e-scooters, and I'm going to Spain for a couple of weeks.
Oh wow! Okay.
In June, and if it could come in before then, Illusion Weaver, and
that would be nice.
About June the 10th, and if you want to release in Spain around, just let me know because I need to save publicity. So I won't buy any tikis. Just give me $1,000.
Yeah. And that's actually something, if we actually had that button, going back to that button where you turn it on and you get double the resources, that's one of those things where if those top players did that, all of a sudden they get double the resources, and then a purple vault is now in their area. They can sell all those resources and then get a purple key pretty easily. I think that's it's a full game of choices, but there would be a pretty easy choice to turn on the double rewards and then sell it down the line, especially if you're have conviction in the game and you're playing long term?
I am nowhere near a purple key.
Okay. You want to share key stacks?
I know you've got a purple key, right?
No, I don't. I'm not flexing. I don't have a purple key.
No, tell me.
But I have 7. I have 7 red keys. So, or equivalent.
7 red.
Yeah.
Well, I might have 6 on Sunday.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's as you were talking about on other podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I sold most of my stuff, but I don't think it would be too hard to get close to. So if I win or get 5, and potentially I'm probably going to give one away regardless, right?
Yeah. Which by the way, you're giving away a red key.
Yeah. But listen, we can listen. So the thing is I could get a purple key. We've got European releases.
Yeah.
In the next year, right?
That's not very far.
I can. So the other day I got the train to Birmingham, which is an hour and a bit's drive away, but the parking cost me 45 quid. I looked at a flight for my little brother to Paris yesterday, same day travel, £35. Right? We can fly to Europe. I flew to.
Dude, I'd go there for dinner.
I flew to the south of France, returned for $20 quid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's it's just occasionally, right? If you watch the flights, there's a period that's 6 weeks before, but generally most places in Europe are 100 quid.
Right.
Return.
Right.
And Purple Vault weekend away. Every time they do a European release, it doesn't matter if there's a purple. We can go there and get the QBs and
absolutely
have a nice weekend in Europe.
Well, here's the play, right? You bring your referrals. Yeah, everybody gets a purple key. Then you just start stacking purple keys on purple keys.
I thought, how immoral would this be to get a purple key, say to my girlfriend, sell me a cat and I'll give you a purple key, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. She spends the purple key. We're on the phone to Yamalov, gets it right. Yeah. I get a purple key, then that's $2,000, right? That's then it'd be Vegas, baby.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I think there's a bunch of ways to play this game. And if you wanted to do that, I would say go right ahead. I think that would be a smart play. In my opinion, that's a smart play to do that.
To me, it feels like stealing $1,000 off the game. That's just my opinion.
We all have our different
I don't know if that would be frowned upon or not. I don't know. And if it was frowned upon, I wouldn't do it. But it's one of those things that's
there's no set rules. That's the problem, Yeah.
And so to me, the grand my girlfriend would get would be her grand. It's not like I'm getting double money. Like,
exactly.
She wouldn't want to share it with me. I would have spent my coin hunt winnings on an electric scooter, and she's already like, why don't we put that in savings account or pay the gas bill? And I'm like,
it's like, nah.
Yeah, but I need an electric scooter, right? And she's like, what? Why? Why? And I'm like,
one of those you don't want to answer.
Yeah, that's and so she's already got plans on what my coin hunt winnings are going on, and so that's funny. So, but it would be nice to have it for my holiday, but
Yeah. Well, those I guess we just got to wait till the those releases actually come, and then we can start asking those important questions. When France or when Spain. So
yeah.
Hopefully,
Spain might be easy because they've already translated the app into Spanish.
Yeah, they should start looking at Spanish speaking countries, especially if the game's already done for that.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, let's jump into some of the changes that have happened. I know you in your last episode with Warm talking about all the changes. I'm just gonna pretend like I forgot about all that, and I want to just pick your brain on some of the questions that I have here. So if I can, and I know I can quickly share my screen here. We'll hop over to the the newest patch here. So the mystery boxes. What are your thoughts here? So now we're getting there's been a slight change, but we'll just go off of these numbers for right now. Have you hit any of the 50s? What's your?
I hit the one in my 420 stimulus package.
Okay, yeah.
And since then I haven't. And I used to get a 6 every couple of days. Do you know what I mean? Or I seem to get 6 once a day.
Yeah.
That 50 is rare.
Oh man. But doesn't it boost you so hard? It feels
Well,
so good.
I've only had it the once. In today I got a 10, and yeah, it's I'm getting mostly 8s, but then the 20. When I get the 20, I'm like, hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
My girlfriend got the 10,000 resin, and
right.
And some people are complaining about that. The way I see that is 33 keys. Yeah, that's 33 keys or some leaderboard points.
Right.
There's only one little thing that I would change about this is high, medium, low, very low.
Yeah.
Very, very low should be like a yellow, a very, very, really, really rarely yellow key, right?
Right.
Just one, not even one a day, just very, very, really rare occasion.
So why would you want that added?
I just think it would be just not. I think they've got high, medium, and low, and very low. They could add some other things.
Category.
So well, maybe another 2. So you could apparently like say if it was like just occasionally you could get 10 blood. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying
like an epic resource.
So like epic resources or just something that's still worth the value of. And it's a different way. So this is back to them not putting too many keys into the game. I'm just trying to think, how do they save money and give someone a resource that is worth some kind of value that's equal to one of the others, even a 50. But what they do is they sell it. Say if they got 50 blood and they sold it in the auction house, those keys that they've been bought with are already in the game.
Right.
So it's just limiting the amount of blue. Every time they get blue keys away, they're
giving money away.
Giving money away.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, perhaps epic resources, and that might be frowned upon by some people. But with the more players that are added, those epic resources, the cubies are rare, but just dribbling some vampires, dribbling some black cats. Do you know what I mean? There will still be the percentage of those cats to players. Do you know what I mean? It's just a little thought.
That's making sense to me. That is making sense. Yeah. So would you want to see paint come back into the mystery boxes then? Because those ones hurt. You know, when you used to get a 200 green paint.
Yeah, 200 green paint used to hurt. Yeah, but 200 purple, right? That's probably worth more than what were the old keys? 2, 6. There was one. No, at what keys?
2, 3, and 6.
Yes. So some of that paint was actually worth more money than the 2 keys.
You're right.
Yeah? So blue paint worth more than 2 keys.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow paint, red paint, all of the paints apart from green are worth them more than 2 keys.
Yeah.
That's the way I just saw it. So would I like to see paint come back? Very, 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 very rarely, but you get 10,000. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like, holy crap! I got the 10,000 paint. Yeah, sweet.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I would like to see. Like, so it's not a chore that it comes through. So you're not disappointed. You're excited. That's to make people happy about getting a resource that isn't necessarily a key.
Right.
Yeah, and then they can trade it for other keys if need be.
Very true. And I've been kind of reluctant to say this on the podcast because as soon as I say this, my luck's going to start changing. But I haven't gotten very many 8 keys. I get the 20, I get the 15 all the time. This morning I hit a two green keys. I love hitting the green keys. I've gotten the 10,000 resin twice. I've gotten the 50 keys 3 times now.
My last 3 were 8s. No, actually, sorry. I've had 8. I had a run of about 6 8s in a row, something like that, which is, I'm trying to stack my keys for next week, and I'm thinking, I did think the 50 was going to be more common when they did this nerf.
Right.
And I perhaps when everyone stops walking so much, because I think everyone's gone a bit crazy, walk too much and drain the keys. Perhaps when everyone slows down a bit, they might just start upping the keys.
Right. Okay.
More, yeah.
A little balance. So let's move to the walking here. So, what do you think about this change? So obviously, I mean, my opinions on it are this is fantastic. I love it. This has been the best change to the game. That
I agree wholly.
Okay. Right on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing this is a way to stack so many more keys. I came from basically getting 10 to 30 keys a day to now getting more than 100. So for me,
You do if you hit all those 50s and 20s and 2 blue keys. And
well, yeah, you're right. So maybe my data is a little bit skewed because I've been stacking keys like crazy. On the last Zach and Beats podcast, Beats was talking about his key count at the end. He said that he had somewhere in the range of 3,000 blue keys, and he said that that's the most he's ever had. And I'm at 1,500. And I'm feeling real good. I've never had, man, I used to carry around 300 keys if I was like key rich. Yeah, so, and now I can't spend my keys fast enough. So
yeah, and this is why I think it's such a needed change. I was a driver, and often I drive an hour every morning, and the rural roads around here were like ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Ding. So I would pick up anywhere between 20 would be a bad day, just without hunting at all.
Okay.
70 would be an average day. Some days I could pick up 200 keys.
And what was your record? Because didn't you go for like a massive run at some point?
1,100 in about 8 hours, 9 hours.
What?
Yeah.
That needed a nerf.
But this is where the problem was. So I knew where all of these keys were. It cost me 70 quid in diesel. I drive a big van, right?
Yeah.
And after I did that, and that was in February, I have hardly done even any key running at all. Like, like how people go for these that was, to me, I mentioned this in my podcast.
You did.
It's God mode, right? And this is why this is a much needed nerf. There's nothing worse than other players feeling they're being hard done by. It needs to be diplomatic. Everyone needs, and
it wasn't balanced. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So now there's a few outsiders that can't walk and stuff like that, but everyone's on a fair playing field. I wish there was just a few other little things you could do to boost your keys beyond what there is at the moment. So apart from these mystery boxes and walking, I wish there was like, all right, 7-day challenge, never miss a mystery box. Yeah, okay, you get an extra mystery box. Yeah. Just, I'm not on the development team, but I'm just thinking
you should be.
There should be. I'll give you my CV.
I think you got some great ideas, and that's a good idea. I like the 7-day. I think those kind of streak challenges would be great. I don't know about you. Well, I know you've missed one because you exposed yourself there, but I haven't missed Walking Quest yet. That's also one of the reasons why I'm stacking so many keys and moving up on the leaderboard so much that I haven't missed getting to an 8 challenge yet. So I think like even if you did, you completed to level 4 for a week, here's an extra couple keys or whatever, like those, like adding streaks. I had always thought about when the dynamic rewards system change came, and I was like, oh, getting perfect. At first it was kind of tough, but I figured, maybe if you get like perfect 10 times in a row, they should add something.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that, that suggestion of, giving streak rewards. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another, so streak rewards. And if there was a streak, I would have finished it off last night. I was close.
For sure. Yeah. You wouldn't like let that go.
What's interesting today, right? I've started strapping my phone to my, like this. How's that working? While I'm at work, right?
Okay.
I haven't been out for a walk today. I'm on goal 7, 10%.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So this morning, so the reason I was so flustered when I was calling you is this morning I had 8 tons of soil delivered, and when it came, it was 14 tons.
Because you're a gardener, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
40, so gardener, and I had 14 tons of soil delivered. So I've done all 7 goals with 14 tons. Wow. Soil in wheelbarrows.
Wow.
And so that's why I was so fluttered when I started calling you, and I was like,
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what you called me on, but you asked for a quick call, and I could not hear a thing you were saying. I was like, what's going on over there?
Yes,
like, that's you need to push.
That's the Bluetooth in my van, and it is so goddamn awful. You had a combination of, I was in a rural area.
Yeah,
Bluetooth in my van, and it is awful. People complain about it all the time.
It was a little rough, but yeah. So the walking changes. They made some slight tweaks to them, right? So originally they were for the first 4 quests or achievements or whatever they are. you would get 5 keys. Now they switched that to 4. And like you were saying at the beginning of the podcast, they made 7 and 8 slightly longer. You're saying an hour longer. I don't know if I've noticed an hour longer, but I've noticed maybe 30 minutes added onto my time. But what do you think about the actual changes to the walking mechanic that they made?
So I'm a little bit frustrated because the amount of keys that I would use doing the whole thing.
Okay.
Like it's so when I'm doing it at work, that's 70 keys. Yeah. So this could happen nearly most days. Yeah.
Yeah.
70k. So once I get this set up and I get a new phone that can actually last the full day.
Yeah.
All I do is set the HQ. All I do is set the HQ up,
Mm-hmm.
and I could do most of the challenge.
Right.
In the day, and
okay.
Whereas when I'm actually hunting, I could use most of those keys depending on the key kickback.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit frustrated with how much has been added, but it's going to be tweaked. I'm not like too sad about it. And when you're doing like the events and stuff and you're hunting, it's going
to be good.
It's going to be like 73 volts or perhaps 100 with your key kickback.
We're back into it. Yeah, no, I'm just saying you've been a very busy guy.
so walking. So if I can do it with passive keys, better keys. I've never been able to do this when I've been driving. I was like doing them and boom, boom, boom,
right.
Key. This is doing them at work. This is like, sweet. 70 keys, 70 keys, 70 keys, 70 keys, 70 keys. And I don't see me failing the challenges very often.
Right.
But I'm not happy with how long it is now because I walk a lot anyway. That shows how much I've already walked today.
Yeah.
Adding another 6-7 miles.
Yeah.
I think one day this week I walked 22 miles. Just something stupid. Yeah. Because what I do. And some people were saying, it's going to really affect the drivers when this game changes to walking.
Yeah.
I don't think they've taken into consideration, like the top players will just go for it and do that 2-3 hours walking regardless. They will do what they got to do to get the keys.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point was to stop rewarding driving, right? Like they advertised this game from the get-go of being like a health game. And when this wasn't implemented, it rewarded players for getting in their car, going for 2-hour drives, looking at their phone the whole time. Like that's, first of all, definitely not safe. That's extremely distracting. Like you're playing a video game while you drive.
Yeah, of course it is.
Like that's for me. I mean, it's easy for me to say this because I never did it that way. So it just fell into my lap, you know.
It's fine until someone gets hurt, right?
Exactly. And it was only a matter of time.
So what happens when you're playing a game, you're distracted? I basically did it. So I've got a dash here, and I would be constant without even looking at the phone. I knew it was like, but not everyone. So I heard of people playing with in their hands, right? And I don't know do you drive, right?
I do drive. Yeah, I don't play and drive though.
No, so if you look at my stereo's down here. If I even look at that for a second, you're
like, whoa,
you swear.
Exactly.
All it takes is for someone to die. And that would be nice for the player or the creators of the game. Now,
exactly.
I just have a question for you. How will this affect events like Christmas? And I wasn't here for Halloween, and I wasn't here for the elemental evasion. Right? What happens when the epic trees? I think they've somehow got to adapt these other events so you don't have to go. Like the local town where Evade plays, there's no print shop, so he's got to drive to the print shop 10 miles away. I think they need to somehow take into consideration how they can make this so people don't want to drive
at all.
At all. And what's going to happen is, I had my epic tree here. Jax was there, and I was driving to his house every day, and then to the town too across to go and hit all their trees. And somehow they have to work out how to make all of these events so people. It's great for community, but
that's going to be a problem. And that's going to take a while for them to figure out. I think they can, and I think they might be working at that. But for now, the idea is, and I'm okay with this. The idea is that you drive to a location where there's a ton of vaults and a good walking spot. Then you get out of your car and you walk around and you collect your keys and you hit the vaults. And then if you're done your challenges and you still need more vaults, or like you still like an event's going on, the Hawaii event, you're obviously going to want to hit more vaults. You go to draw. You then, I guess what I know is going to happen is people are then going to drive around and play. But the idea,
I'm going to be doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the idea is to then take yourself, drive to another place where you can walk, and then do it that way. That's obviously not going to happen. I think it's a great step, and but yeah, what's going to happen is you're going to finish your walking quest, and then you're going to go out and you're going to play and drive again.
Yeah. So I actually don't have a problem with moving areas, because you could get a bus, right? You could cycle. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem is say the elemental invasion. I don't fully know how it worked, but it created a beacon that could be a couple of miles away, right?
Yeah.
So then what's happening is people are driving. I think that's unnecessary, and that's what they've got to change. And then the Christmas trees I don't know. There just seems something a bit like.
You have to be able to cover distance while playing this game. Yeah,
it just seems, it's something to me just doesn't seem right about them taking the driving element away, like playing while driving. I get that, but like moving areas, they just seem something. How do they make it fair? And I don't have the answer.
That's a tough job to come up with. Yeah, like that one's really tough. So, I would love to see them shortly add, more types of quests, maybe even, longer quests. So like if we had like a goal to 10, and say 10 was something ridiculously unachievable that you couldn't get daily, but maybe for the event you want to spend 6 hours hunting, which let's be honest, I bet you a bunch of us have done. A 6 hour hunt is a deep hunt, but
what's your longest hunt, may I ask?
Oh gosh, I mean, I've gone all day, so I've probably gone from like 10 to 10.
Yeah. So last Chinese New Year, I left the house on Chinese New Year. I left the house at 4 a.m. and came in at 2. Yeah. The following day.
It was 24 hours.
When we were getting the bus home back from London, I was warm and I was holding my phone up.
Falling asleep.
Like that. So it just, and we have an itinerary for next week. And,
right on. Okay.
Well, I haven't made the itinerary. Warm's the planning guy, right?
Good.
He's got we're polarizing characters. We work in a symbiotic relationship. I'm a lot more excitable and think, sell that on the auction house, do this.
Chaotic.
And he's like, stack this over here, over here, and then he will do something. Yeah.
Right.
And so he's thought, he's got us roots down, and it's like, right, we're gonna do this one day, do this another day, and I'm like, yeah, cool, roll with that. You know what you're thinking about. He's looked at bus routes, he's looked at train tickets.
So you're ready. You and him are ready.
I don't have the keys that everyone else has.
Okay.
So you should compare keys. Yeah. So I've got 600 and odd. I think
that's
you're gonna need
bad.
over. But you're gonna.
I think you'll be okay there.
What do you need? Gonna need 1,000 to get that turtle, probably.
Yeah, 1,000, but you have 10 days, and I'm assuming you're going to complete the walking challenges every time. Oh yeah, that's right. You're going to end up hitting extra. So, I don't know. It's hard to judge.
It's doable. It's doable. Am I
600,
ready?
It's doable.
Do I feel ready? No.
Okay.
I've got like a few greens and a few things in that auction house. It all depends are the drops going to be on the first day? Are the high resource drops is going to be every time one candy cane.
Yeah.
Like bells, everything is slowed down at the start and it ramps up. If I go too hard the first day, I'm going to be
burnt. Yeah.
Burnt. Yeah. Use that word. Yeah.
You get burnt out. Yeah.
Not burnt out. No. I'm tenacious. This is if I go too hard on the first day, I'm going to be spending those keys, and perhaps I won't have them on the days it drops hard. So it's all to think about what you're doing when you're hunting.
Exactly,
and where you're going to be with the most vaults.
We also don't have all the information for the Hawaii event, right? Like they haven't released a Medium article for what's actually going to be happening. So we're still like moving on a little bit of speculation.
For the last couple of events, it's come Friday night. So
yeah, and for most of the events, I mean, as far as I can think back, is that mechanic that you were just talking about. For the first day, they'll release the resources like slowly, almost out of a faucet. And then the next couple of days it ramps up. And I think that's because they give like more casual players a chance to be able to catch up. So, I mean, you could take that, because sometimes it's really disheartening when you're out there hunting for 10 hours on the first day of the event. You come back, you have like 100 resources, and then you get that in 45. You get that in 45 minutes the next day. So
yeah, this is all to take into consideration. So we don't know everything.
No.
We don't even know all the resources. I'm just thinking that little fish that's in the seal's mouth may be a resource. Why does it come up as an emoji, right?
That's true. It was an emoji.
Things going.
Yeah.
So we got the seal, the thing, the Hawaii, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then you got the cheekies, and it's like, whoa. It's going to be absolute chaos next week. There's going to be so much going on, and I have this theory that there's going to be a sacrificing of the tikis.
Okay.
So you've got 27. There's talk of the chief, isn't there? 28, whatever it is.
Okay.
Maybe there's two chiefs. Who knows, right? There's going to be some kind of burning. Do you know what I mean? I don't know too much about Polynesian culture, right? So
me neither.
Here's my understanding. Hawaii's in the Pacific Ocean.
Yes,
and that's where French Polynesia and blah 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 and Pitcairn Island and all those islands are, right? And Easter Island's out there somewhere, Fiji, and it's some of it's based on Maori culture, which is New Zealand, stuff like that.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yeah.
And yes, volcanoes.
Yeah,
there's going to be some kind of burning. I don't know enough about tiki culture. I even tried researching it, and I tried looking for YouTube.
I heard that,
and all I found was more about the jazzy shirts and stuff. So, Matiki, if you're listening,
we need some info.
Tell me what's going on.
You know what's actually funny? He's come up a lot in my podcasts, and I didn't share this the last couple of podcasts, but I reached out to him to be on the podcast. He's actually one of the only people who have been like, "No, it's okay. I don't want to come on the podcast." Like, wow. So he's very mysterious. You know, I'd love to get him to sit down and talk, but he seems like he's just doing his own thing. You know.
But it could just be like, no, it's quite front loaded. Like, not everyone has.
I understand. I understand it for sure. But so it definitely just made me go, I really want to talk to you.
So what you've got to do is just message him and say, just call me quickly. I've got.
I just need something quick.
It's just urgent, and then just ask him a question and be like,
hello everyone. Okay. So. I guess we're already right into the Hawaii event, but the quest chain, right, based off efforts instead of RNG, that's going to be fun. Are you going to try to attempt to be one of the first to complete it? I know you were able to do that with the Chinese New Year event, which I would say was one of the toughest ones yet. So if you're looking to try to be one of the first for another NFT in the UK, then I think you might have a good shot at it, especially if you're grinding for it.
I would like to. Don't get me wrong. I would like to, but the more players that start, the more tenacious players we have. We've got I Am Ian, which is in top 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
We have Warm, we have Falcor, and those 4 are really tenacious players, right? And then last event we had Leanne M. Kirby, and her partner, I've forgotten his name, but they've stopped playing, right? So they did really well. So she did really well, right? And this is where effort basis, I think, is better, right?
Yeah.
He hit more vaults than any of us, right? Didn't get it.
Yeah.
And this is where the game. I play Pokemon Go, right? RNG. When someone puts that much effort in, they should be rewarded. And I remember playing Pokemon Go, going out for daily raids where you have to work with other people.
Yeah.
And realistically, you just want the shiny or a high stat Pokemon. And I remember going out for 9 days in a row, putting in the effort, hitting these raids. And then I remember it invoked emotions in me that was like when you got beaten at school as not beaten, but like losing as a child. Like, and I noticed these emotions that I haven't felt as an adult. And I'm like, oh, this feels unfair. And this is where I think the effort-based stuff is high. I encourage it because it's like, no one wants to play a game. What happens if you do that? Eventually you stop playing. And I eventually stopped playing Pokemon Go because I was putting all this effort in, and I'd be next to someone and I'd be like,
They already got it.
RNG.
Yeah.
And
yeah. That's really interesting that you say that. Now I just want to quickly go back because I forgot to ask you this, but for the walking quests, do you think that it's sustainable to be able to complete it almost every day? Like, are you hurting yet?
No.
No, you're not, eh? Okay.
No. So okay. But I walk for a living.
Right on. Yeah.
This is I have noticed I definitely feel like my legs are more toned.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but for the last 8-9 years, all I've done every day is walk. Walk. My average day is 10 miles. Do you know what I mean? That's
right.
Yeah. So
that's light work for you.
Yeah. So in the summer, my average day before playing this game was 24,000 steps.
Okay.
25. Yeah. So, but I have definitely noticed that I was like, oh,
yeah,
these bad boys. They're slimmer. So before they were like more chunky, whereas now I'm like, I've got cycling legs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's really funny that you say that because, last summer when there was none of that, I was cycling. I was only cycling and playing the game while cycling, which to me, that's the best way to play the game. You cover so much distance, you're outside, you're being physically fit, and it's not a ton of energy, right? Like walking and running, if you walk and run for 3 hours, it's not like you just biked. Like biking for 3 hours is very easy comparatively.
You can in that time you can cover some distance as well.
Exactly.
So I think what I'm going to be doing is, if my e-scooter has not arrived, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be
whip out the pedal bike. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought my bike over here. I'm going to pick up my longboard tomorrow to just because I think this could just. I mentioned, I know I'm repeating stuff.
No, it's okay. I like it.
You could just pick up steps, right? By longboarding, you're going up and down and up and down.
And you're pushing the board as well. So I imagine you get steps.
So the cycling, and I don't know how you have your phone mounted. I'm like, stop, look at my phone, do it. And
I bike without any hands, so I just carry it.
Oh right, yeah.
And I bike with no hands. I'm a biker.
Yeah. Have you got, what do you have, a hybrid, or do you have a fixie? I don't know.
I have a hybrid. I have a few actually. So I have a road bike, a hybrid, and a mountain bike. And typically what I would do is I would just use a mountain bike because where I live on top of an escarpment. And so
that means,
and it's like a long stretch of cliff for like a while, but it's not. But it's not like a cliff and then nothing underneath. There's like a city and there's more stuff. So I'm on top of the hill, and going down is a fantastic bike ride. Absolutely fantastic. There's this nice bike trail, a lot of people walking on it, but you can zoom down it. There's no vaults or anything. So I just put the phone in my pocket for that. But going back up is a bitch.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So
I always bring the mountain bike because I need to be able to climb.
Yeah. I've only got I've got a hybrid now, but it's got like those wider tires. So it's got wide tires and then a top ridge. So when you're on road, it uses this higher ridge, and then it's like a road bike.
That's
and then you can go on gravel paths without it. And then I've got a fixie that I never use, and I used to have like downhill bikes, BMXs, the whole lot. It's just one of those hobbies that you do when you're younger, and it's like I was mad, and just over time got rid of them. We've got some good places to cycle here. Carry on. If you talk to me, I would just carry on talking, right?
No worries. I like that. That's good. So would you'd be interested in a cycling quest then? A daily cycling quest. Okay, so I heard on the Zach and Beats podcast, they I think they made a mistake because they said that, if they introduced cycling quests, or maybe it might have been on your podcast. Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm getting a little confused.
Not mine.
Okay, yeah. So it was theirs. And they said that if they introduced cycling quests, then, not a lot of players would be able to complete both the walking and the cycling. And I was thinking aloud to myself, I'm like, oh, buddy, like that would be perfect for me because I'd go walk and then I'd cycle too. That's no problem for me.
You do one in the morning before reset, and then do the other one. Yeah, that's Yeah, I don't know if I do it every day, but
Yeah.
Oxford's got loads of nice little cycle routes. It's beautiful to cycle around. So, and there's some good vaults over the other side of town that I couldn't walk to. So
absolutely. Yeah.
That's the only one thing about cycling is how do they do it without cheating? And I tried to think how I would do it if I was a developer. And what does the word proprietary mean? Does that mean it only works with that app? So if they made their they made their own smartwatch, right?
Yeah.
That they sold as the Coin Hunt World smartwatch. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Only by them, it records your GPS, everything like that, and your heart rate. They can then sell that data. I know people don't like having their data sold, but Google does it. Everyone does it, right? Every time you make a phone call, everything's being sold, right?
If you're listening to this podcast and you're getting targeted ads, your data is getting sold. Sorry.
So I want Coin Hunt World to make some money, right?
Yeah,
to give to us.
Yeah.
So I would happily wear a device that tracks my sleep.
Yeah.
Even my blood sugar. Sell my data. Give me some crypto. Give me some QBs. Yeah. There's and I'm just trying to think, how would you do it without a way of cheating? And you might have someone that would be able to crack it. But if you put the right encryption in there, boom.
So it's kind of like, produce their own smartwatch, and then, you buy it for in-game keys. They ship it out to you,
keys or
you sacrifice 27 Tiki Warriors.
Yeah,
and get their smartwatch.
Or $50 or something like that with your crypto. And I don't know what that cost to manufacture, but I'm just thinking, what can they sell about this and give us the money? Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
They've got to make revenue. And how do you stop people cheating? People don't like cheating. It makes games unfun. It makes people quit.
But the problem is that people will cheat if you can.
Yes. So that was my idea of how you make something where they can do it without you being able to cheat.
Right. So I guess we're coming up on the end here. Wow, been talking for almost 2 hours, but just quickly finishing it off. So for the Hawaii event that's coming up on May 4th. So not very much time left, but there's a bunch of QBs. So there's those 3 new ones. We were talking about the Seal QB, which looks awesome.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
I see the turtle, right?
Wait, we've seen the turtle?
No. The Seal is my favorite until we see the turtle.
Okay, right on. Yeah.
I might change my mind.
So, and then there's obviously all of the new Tiki Warriors. Wasn't there a new? Oh no, that the Tiki Warriors are the new commons. But also you can get the hula and the surf blueprints as well.
Haven't got either of those.
Have you ever bought them on the auction house?
No, my keys are too. So I would like all this stuff, but my keys are too valuable to me to do other stuff. So if I could get the blueprint, and then because it takes other resources, you're spending more money than it's worth to your leaderboards. Sure. I'd just wait for a time like now to get one.
Yeah. So that actually happened to me in August when I first started. I bought. No, I bought. What's that?
Right, sorry. I thought you sold your one of those Hawaii blueprints.
I did. So I actually bought the surf blueprint, right? Because I wanted to print it for leaderboard points. It's a rare. And actually in August at the time, when getting leaderboard points was a little bit trickier. I think it was a lot trickier. People haven't really figured out the meta. And so printing a rare would move me like a significant amount.
Yeah. It was like that for a while. It's not like that anymore, but yeah.
No, and printing a rare won't move you one spot now. So I ended up getting that, printing it, and then I just sold the blueprint. So now you can't get it if you've already had it. Right?
But there'll be some for sale, right? Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm thinking that nobody is really going to sell it for like that cheap. I'm willing to pay 300 keys, I guess. That's kind of my cutoff. I don't want to pay 400 keys for that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having all of these new things.
Yeah,
I got some beach cocktails from my mystery box thing.
Oh yeah, the big tickler. Yeah.
So I've been sat on those. I might list 1 or 2, 2 days before the event, so they come in first day when we know everything going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just for that little influx of keys. Do you know what I mean? Like,
That's a good idea. So what's your strategy here? Because I've done some different things over the events, trying to like gauge what's best. So do you at the beginning of the event, grind hard on that first day where the resources are slightly less, and then do you ever list them on the first day on the auction house?
That's not my method.
Okay.
That's not my method.
Have you seen that method before?
It's a tested method. I know people that do that, but not my method. I'd just be too scared I wouldn't get them back on the last day.
Okay, right, yeah.
And if I had done that this time, I'd have been truly effed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, if I'd have sold those resources, I would have been truly effed, and it's too much panic for me. I would rather. So I'll tell you what my plan is and how my game plan's going to be.
Yeah.
The first day I'm going to go hard. I know what's going to happen is I'm going to be lying in bed. 1 o'clock will happen, and so this is going to be Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yes, Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I have squeezed all my work in, so I've done 2-3 jobs today that should have been done in 3 days.
You're prepping.
Done. My last day of work is Tuesday,
mm-hmm.
and I have 1 day of work next week, which is an obligatory contract, right? And what I'm going to try and do is do some visits to London, which is vault, and
crazy.
then do some local hunting. There's a good amount of vaults in Oxford if you travel, but there's some dead spots in between.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do some days here, some days away.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably do a lot of it with Warm. I'm not sure if he's got the whole week off, but it's going to be between here and London, and we're going to try and meet up with as many UK players as we can. So
right on,
any that are listening to this, we will be in London quite a bit. And so any UK players that are listening, come and meet us, and let's have some pints, let's do some walking, let's get some cheese sauce. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's it's always fun playing the game with other people, isn't it? It's weird how that is. Like
carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you start playing the game like alone, trying to figure it out, and then once you're in the comfortable swing of things, playing with someone else and like talking with them as they're playing, that's a lot of fun. I like doing that.
It becomes an excursion. So
totally.
So on one of mine and Warm's trips to London, like we get chatting to people. We're both talkative characters.
Yeah.
Some guys like, hey guys, do you want to go up this skyscraper? There's a garden on the roof, and you can go and look at. We're like,
of course.
Yes, sweet. Yes, we don't know London too well, so we're still seeing it. It's Big Ben. Like we have seen it lots. I've worked in London lots.
Right.
You're seeing all this stuff, and it's a beautiful city. It has. I am lucky to live where I live, but so it's an excursion. So playing with other people, and meeting actual people that you've just seen their avatar.
Yeah, that's it.
Like we all know your face.
Right.
Well, we don't know your face. We know your QB. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
and we know some people's faces, but like, but then you get to know each other's personalities, and you find that people are from different walks of life, different demographics, but you have one thing in common. Yeah. And then you get talking to them, and it's like, I have that in common.
Like, it's everything.
It's music. And when I played Pokemon Go, I remember I was playing with like 60, 70-year-old doctors, and then you'd have the local rude boy, which is like your, just like your, not a thug, but like just like a
little tough guy.
And but you'd be all playing together, and it's just communities. These games bring people together that wouldn't usually be talking to each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so playing it. This is why the events, like we're saying, not traveling too much, but doing stuff as a team. Yeah. And one thing I would really like to see is all of your QBs walking along the map.
Yes.
See or be seen, you know what I mean? No, don't be seen or seen. And like, imagine you've got 4 cats walking next to each other, or
Yeah, where you can like toggle that switch, and then you can see like if there's another player around. I'd start running to their QB.
You know what I mean? And just be like, who are you? And then be like, you're RJ Phillips. We've been trying to find you for years. Yeah. That's,
exactly. Yeah. They're your brand.
We have about 3 or 4 or 5 players in Oxford.
You can't figure out. Idea.
So one guy must do my whole route because he's got 2, and then I've noticed he's done one on the business part near me.
Oh, okay.
So he must go past all my vaults and be like, "Hey, CoinDemon, I've seen him." And so I've added him, deleted him, added him, deleted him, added him, deleted him. And I'm waiting for the buddy quest with him. So he's like,
right.
And then we've got another one down the road, and I'm like, who are these people? Because they're staying out their vaults and they're not on Discord. And what I've tried doing is just like Google searches of their username.
Yeah, see if they're somewhere else. Yeah.
If they're somewhere else, because people often use the same username for everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I say we end it here. But before we end it, I just want to, shout out you and your podcast, what you're doing. So, if you're listening to this, you definitely got to get on the UK Coin Hunt World podcast because, like you said at the beginning, there's never enough content, especially with this. You guys got something really good going on. And if you want to see them develop and work and start from the beginning there, then definitely check them out because it's very entertaining. Jack and Jack, they're really good. So not only that, but your leaderboard push. So it's still not over. We're all rooting for you, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm excited to see where you end up there as well. Yeah.
I tell you what, Saturday night is going to be fun, right?
Yeah. It's always a wild ride at the end.
Yeah. So when I make my moves on Saturday until the 1 o'clock midnight, which is at the end of it for us. It's going to be tense. Wherever I come, I'm going to be happy. I'm not the most.
You've done well. Person. It's something to be proud of already.
and if 3 million resin doesn't get you first, well,
that's crazy. I don't want to be first.
That's fucked. Yeah. And fair play, Rudy, if he's done it. Thank you very much for having me, Trent. This is. And our podcast is only going to get better. Yeah. And we're excited to see what's going to happen. And never be afraid to make these long episodes, Trent.
Of course.
They don't time it. I'm always looking for more stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I understand. I totally understand. And especially with the new walking, everybody's got to be playing for a couple hours a day now if they want to get them all done. So sometimes I'll just queue up both podcasts from Zach and Beats and you guys. And here's the problem. If you have a podcast of your own, that's automatically one off of the content, right? I don't listen to my own podcast.
I listen to mine because I edit it. So I cut it all up to pieces. At the moment we aren't fluid, so Warm has a few little things that he does in his voice, and I stumble on my words a lot and repeat myself a lot. And we both have opinions on what should be or shouldn't be in the podcast. Sometimes we're like, that's a bit tedious because we've talked. What happens is we talk about it so much off channel.
Yes.
A little bit. What happens is the excitement's gone. The excitement we're having now is actually kind of gone from our voices.
Exactly.
It's a little bit. So because I edit it so much, I listen to ours 3, 4, 5 times. So I produce a final cut, send one to Warm, listen to it myself. But the first day when I start editing it, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, but it's not for content, right? For you, it's not like enjoying. It's more
So when I first make it, I'm like, was that really that good? And then I finish it, get the intro in, cut everything out, leave it a day, and then I'm like, I'm entertained.
Yeah.
So because I forget what I've said. Do you know what I mean? We talk so much, I forget what I've said. So, but anyone else wants to make a podcast, I'm ready. I listen to I Speak Nerds as well, which I think he sometimes gets forgotten about. And shout out to him. And the only difference is his is about crypto space, and as I described before, I'm not really in the crypto space at the moment. And I just get jealous of what I can't do. Once I owned 10 Bitcoin.
What? Dude, that's brutal. What?
I bought something off a website called the Silk Road.
Oh yeah.
In 2010.
I'm well aware of the Silk Road.
Someone would be able to work out 10 Bitcoin was 40 quid. So you'd be able to work out what the date was.
Don't you wish you forgot about that?
Right. No, because the thing is right.
If you forgot about it.
Anyway, the thing is right. I'm not the person that dwells on stuff like that.
Right.
Because,
yeah, me neither.
I have Pokemon cards that were worth money, right?
Yeah.
I played with them. I have video games. I have Nintendo games that I still got in the cupboard. Some of them are worth money. But if you dwell on stuff like that, you're never going to be a happy person.
That's
And I'm
poison.
I'm very much happy-go-lucky. And
Me as well.
I did look for. Don't get me wrong. Last year when it all, I was like, how? I can't even remember how I used to buy it. The thing is, I literally used to. I swear it was just on a website. Like you just click buy and it would drop into a wallet. And I think the wallet was on your desktop, not on your browser.
Right.
Yeah. What's that? 500 grand.
some in that ballpark, maybe more.
Yeah, there's been times in the last month, in the last year, where I've been like, I really need some money to pay my bills, and I think, how nice would it be? So I've got little portions of SHIB and stuff like that, and I just think, Suku. Imagine if my Suku, out of all the crypto that I do in game, Suku and Veriblock, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
Just hope that somehow Suku just goes.
Yeah.
I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are predictable what would happen in 5 years. You buy 10 ETH now, I think you're going to do well.
You're going to do okay. Yeah. But those other altcoins could go either to zero or I mean everything could go to zero, but those other altcoins could go crazy. And look at that.
I do think the only reason that Bitcoin or Ethereum could do really badly is the central banks are owned by people, not by governments, and they really have influence on the law. This sounds a bit like Illuminati kind of shit, but it's true, right?
Yeah, it is.
And if they're not making money from it, they are going to say to the politicians, "This isn't really working."
Yeah, cut it out.
And then it's going to become crime, isn't it? That's what.
The thing is that it's already
so big.
Well, not just that, but those people who are behind central banks and doing that and basically the finance industry, they're already in it, man. Yeah. They already want it to go to fucking $1 million.
That's what I thought,
because that's good for them, So
I think if I was a crooked politician, what I'd be saying to my mates is I'd be like, right, we're all gonna buy shit, right? We're all gonna buy some shit. We're gonna buy one of these altcoins that is you can buy $1 billion for 20.
Yeah.
And then what I'm gonna do is come in and say, we've made a decision on what the safest coin is, and it is SHIB.
Yeah.
Because they already, England. We shouldn't talk pocket politics, but England's government's corrupt as fuck. Right?
I mean, I feel like that's just all of them.
Yeah.
Is that too bold to say? All of them are fucked.
Yeah. There's, and yeah, so it'd be. So that's my prediction. Yeah. So they're behind it. Who knows what's going to happen? But
yeah. And it's a great way to save money. And I'm glad Coin Hunt World's introducing that as well, right? They give you that opportunity to try out. Like, I mean, in Canada, we don't have the opportunity to get Veriblock or Suku. I would love to, because I would do the same thing you're doing, right? I would just hold it, sit on it. It's one of those things.
Suku's released in Canada now, right? Or is it just in the States?
So yeah, no, it is on Uphold, but Coin Hunt World hasn't.
Okay, I understand.
It's not available for us to actually get, and I mean I could go out and buy it, but
you want some free Suku, you want an airdrop, right?
Yeah, I'm not paying for anything other than ETH.
yeah. So I've been sorry. This is
no worries.
Making your episode long. ETH. So the trouble is I'm quite new to this, and I had a load of not ETH. I transferred my SHIB from one account to the other. And I didn't realize gas fees and I lost a lot of money. So now I'm scared of ETH, right?
Yeah.
Because of the gas fees. Mate, I had like 100 quid, $120, $30, whatever, in SHIB. And I moved it. I wanted it in my trust wallet and not a nice hash and stuff like that. And I bought it using. So I'd mined it. I'd mined into Bitcoin, and then just using my GPU, had it in nice hash, and then got absolutely bloody stung. There's nothing left.
Sometimes it's a little rough. It depends on the congestion of the network of how much, like if a lot of transactions are going on. So that's particular if, the price of ETH is skyrocketing or, dumping, then typically it's really expensive to move around. Regardless, transacting on Ethereum is expensive. And people who do it have lots of money. And so I don't really play around with a lot of those transfers. So I try not to, because of that exact reason, right? It just wrecks you on the other side. So if I need to, I'll plan it. So I'll look for like a cheap downside. If you did this like a while ago too, when ETH was,
this was the trouble. So when I did it a couple of years ago, so I've been in and out of crypto since 2010. When I did it before, it was nothing.
Right.
And I just repeated what I'd done before.
Yeah.
I've just been fucking.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to do is, with SHIB, you can definitely get, you could get faucets. So you could just get
a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For free. Just for spending a bit of gas every day. And,
absolutely.
So sorry.
That's okay.
I said to you, if we talk, when your face is on the screen, I'm going to talk.
That's okay, man. We'll do. I'm sure we'll have other content coming out. We'll do some sort of crossover, or that's something for the
well, you can come on us.
There you go.
We're going to have. We've got a solid foundation that we're going to have UK guests just to start with. We owe it to some of these people.
I like that because it also looks like a lot of the UK people are just listening to your podcast because for whatever reason, but I like that. Like that's not something I'm like, oh, I want more UK listeners. I definitely, I just want them to enjoy the Coin Hunt World content, and you're putting out some good stuff. So like, that's awesome.
I would imagine it where we are in the UK chat so much. These people have
they know you.
They know us. So and we will be sure to give you boost. And I think if we all just do that and
we just share that love. Yeah. Like I said, we got to get into a little group chat and start sharing our ideas. Cause we're,
So it actually baffled me that I was like, the second we did it, I was like, whoa, we just got to give some keys away because it just gets engagement. Because we need to get, we haven't got the player, we haven't got the listening base that you guys have got. And luckily you guys have all given us shout outs, which we're really grateful.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. Like, and I was like, we need to somehow get tweets. And I was like, I said to Warm, I'm going to give away a red key. And he's like, you're fucking crazy, man. I was just like, it's just a key. It's just no red box.
It's a game. It's just a game right now.
Yeah.
So, especially if that makes somebody else's day. I love that idea. By the way, we haven't even. What's that?
You imagine that goes to a player that's never had a red key, right?
I love that. That'd be sick. They'd hold it forever.
Yeah. Or it might mean they can participate in an event that they
finish an event. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we I guess to close it out, we can talk about your red key giveaway because that's on Twitter right now. You're giving away a red key. So you're looking for an outrageous number of retweets, but hopefully we get there. I actually haven't retweeted it yet and this is a strategy of mine. So I'll be retweeting it very soon. And so I mean I'd love a red key.
Yes. So the whole basis is I noticed we had loads, and I'm grateful people aren't all doing it at once. So what I don't want is that tweet to go back. I'm sure we'll give the red key away if it doesn't reach 400. But there's tweets, Coin Hunt World tweets that are reaching the top notes.
Yes.
Even if we can I just need to get some listener bases up, and I think it's fun. Firstly, I didn't even think about doing the tweet originally. I was like, let's just give a red key away, let's just go crazy. It's probably what we're going to do is get to a point where we're like, okay, that's enough. Anyone that does a retweet, a quote tweet, or does a second one, they can have 2 entries. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
We haven't even thought about this.
Right on. Yeah. So that's live. You can find me.
You'll have to. I think I'm at CoinDemon.
I'm gonna throw all the links in the description for yours, for Warms, your podcast, everything. You can find it in the description below.
Sweet.
And that'll be on. This will be on YouTube as well. So it's everywhere. We're blasted.
Sweet.
All right, Jack. It was a pleasure. Meeting you, talking with you. It won't be the last time, I'm sure. So
no.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me, and it's been fun. It's been fun having to do no prep work.
Yes, exactly. Isn't that nice?
You can do all the editing. For all the times I've gone out the room, you can do the editing.
No worries. I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Bye.